Very cool. You've been writing funk lines in Dorian with some minor blues vibes. Can you talk through those and why they work? If you've already been making bass lines with them, they sound good. That means they work, you know. So don't get theory and music back to front. If you have used it and it sounds good, that's enough. It works. It's working, you know. Do you have any drills you do to develop syncopated rhythms? Stop playing on beat 1 all the time. Just take your other 16th note subdivisions, like for instance this groove, if I slow it down and I go 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, and if you're used to just always playing so if you're always hearing 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E, start on the A, 3 and then start on and 1 E. Combine those, you know. So get used to playing on the E, the and the A of every beat, and starting phrases on the E and the and the A. Getting comfortable doing that. Once you get comfortable with that can take a while. You can start to add triplets, you know. On the and a 2 E. That's pretty syncopated stuff, you know. Ideas to practice other things than ascending or descending scales. If you've already done that enough and you can see where these scales are, then just stop ascending and descending scales. Don't do it anymore, because no songs do that, no music does that. So stop ascending and descending scales. I'm always into creating motifs. Let's say you're practicing your F Lydian mode and you are just running this up and down. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 1. Change the order. Instead of playing 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, play 1 3 2 1 3 2 1 3 2 1 3 2, and then 3 1 2. And if you add rhythm to this, it starts to sound like music already, which is so cool. I can take that exact same idea and put it here. Here's F Lydian here. Instead of just running it up and down, I'm going to play 1 3 2. And now if I add some rhythm to this, it really starts to get away from just doing this all day, you know. So once you've got like the different permutations of the string order, then I'm always suggesting people make motifs and run the motif through your scales, you know. So if you go, then go, so now I'm just creating a new phrase and I'm moving it through the scale or key, you know. I don't really like exercises for the sake of exercises, but other teachers can be different, other bass players can be different. You know, people will say, do this kind of thing, and you just play pinky, you just really do this kind of stuff. I would rather learn a line that I have to use my pinky and play the line over and over, or I'd rather just practice arpeggios and triads where I force myself to use my pinky. I'm not into like just exercises for the sake of an exercise. I can learn music at the same time, you know. That's why all these kind of, you know, these spider exercises, I don't know, I don't really like them. Rather learn a melody or phrase, but say to yourself, I'm gonna use my pinky where I know I should be using my pinky, you know. Could you touch more on the sound of implying 4 minor over 5 to 1? Yes, for sure. So, if you have normally you've been playing 5 to 1, okay, this is a common chord progression, 5 to 1. That is just as strong as, I'm sure you've heard this happen a lot. The Beatles did this a lot, where instead of the cadence being a 5 to 1, it's a 4 to 1. That sound. And then the next step is this. I'm sure you've heard that in a lot of music. So again, just listen. This is 4 going to 4 minor to 1. So again. This is just another way of saying tension, resolve. So now, when you're playing, you instead of going to play G dominant 7 and resolve to C, you could play see, I played F minor and resolve to C. So instead of this, it's this. It's an awesome sound and a very common in pop music, you know. So you're just swapping that G dominant for an F minor. See, that's, you can see the line. There you find that resolution. The root of F goes down to the third of E. Beautiful. Or look, here is the flat 3 of F minor going down a semitone to the 5th of C. So, isn't that a beautiful resolution? Tension, resolution, and then you have to practice. How can I get from F minor to C? Oh, right there. Or, there. Both of these is just a semitone resolution. Root of F becomes the 3rd of C. And this, the flat 3 of F minor, becomes the 5th of C. So yeah, all of them have got a very clear tension and resolution point. And yeah, this is the cool thing about studying harmony, and especially studying the kind of these amazing improvisers, obviously in jazz, that there's not like this, if I see G dominant 7 to C major 7, this is like the law and I have to play a G dominant 7. No, you can superimpose other things. This is a large part of what the genius is about those musicians, is you are thinking G dominant 7 to C major 7. It's like, well, why I can play this? It sounds good, so I'm gonna play it, you know. if you can break the rules in a way that sounds good, then the theory has to take a bit of a back seat. Once you find that tension and resolution, everything is okay, you know. I was saying to a student today, when I started to study music theory, I remember getting taught F major 7 is 1 3 5 7. So then I would see F major 7 on a chart, and my brain would go 1 3 5 7. Okay, but then I learned a Charlie Parker line. He goes, and he literally played every single note. And then I went, I think my teachers are wrong. You know, I think every single note can work if you actually understand tension and resolution. It's like, here's the chord, but the chord is just there. What are you going to play with it? Anything you want, if you can make it sound good, you know, 100%. So yeah, eventually I think the theory, it starts to break down because music is moving in real time. It's too fast. It's like, for instance, C major 7. I just played this. Every single note. George Benson would play something like that all the time. It's about weaving in and out of tension and release, you know. So, doom ba, doom de, tension, release. See, tension and release. Tension and release. But look, this is C major 7, flat 7, 6, flat 6, 5, flat 5. Every single note works. So yeah, when you see C major 7, depending on the musical situation, obviously if I'm playing on a pop recording and there's this groove, I'm not going to go because I'll never work again and I'll lose money and I'll become homeless. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't do that. So of course it's about what do you like and what music you like to play and what are you interested in playing. But I will just say that it has to do with rhythm. That's what people don't teach enough of, you know. The reason why I know I can play is because I know that I'm aiming this tension to hit that C on the beat, you know. You see, I know that I'm gonna get to that E, the third of C major 7, on the beat. I'm starting my phrase and adding in chromatics that will allow me to extend the tension to hit the release on the beat, on a chord tone on the beat. That's how you play chromatically, you know. Everyone talks about like, put a chromatic here, put a chromatic here, put it here, put it here. Okay, cool. But it's more about where you start the phrase and where you end the phrase and where you're aiming and the momentum of the line, you know. It's not just like you can play the bebop scale and it's gonna work. It's like, no, it's not that simple, because I just landed on a weak beat. It doesn't sound good. You have to play, you have to know where that strong beat is and where the chord tones are. If I started on an offbeat and I played that same line, see, now the strong note has gone to a weak beat. It doesn't sound that good. It's not, you know what I mean? You see? what I'm practicing right now is how can I extend the tension and know where I'm going to land, you know. And you can practice this. Just really go out of time. Oh, I got the early, so I need to add a chromatic. That's why you add chromatics, so that rhythmically you end the tension on a strong beat. Because if you just play no, I landed on D flat on the beat and I'm trying to land on C or E or B. You see, now I landed. Lots of chromatics going on, but I landed strong. I start strong and I end strong. Now if I want to extend this tension, see? I kind of kept going because I thought, no, I haven't found my resolution point and I want the line to be longer because I'm enjoying the momentum of this phrase. And I thought, I gotta get to here, bam, right there, you know, like with the drums. When I'm improvising, I'm kind of thinking of what key I'm in, and I'm thinking of the chords kind of like melodies, you know. And I'm thinking of like I'm in this key and I can see all the chord shapes in the key, you know. And then I'm picking them out and trying to play them with rhythm. And then if I want to go to a different key, I'm like, what's nearby, you know? But if I try and explain, let's say I'm thinking of F Dorian, okay? So then I know like all of these kind of notes will give me the F Dorian mood. All of these chords contain just notes in F Dorian, and I can see them and I'm picking them out kind of like groupings of notes, and then I'm trying to create melodies inside them that lead me somewhere else. I know, does this sound like a person that needs to be locked up? Potentially, you know. Melodies, once I've picked out the notes, oh. So yeah, I'm just seeing a key and then I'm choosing melodies and chords within the key. I think the difference between maybe doing that and how like kind of pop and rock songs are written is pop and rock songs, it's generally like I'm in this key and what are the chords in this key? Oh, C major can go to A minor, can go to F major, G major, to F major, F minor, C. Like, you know, this is kind of pop writing harmony, like early Beatles, you know. But I think when I'm jamming on my bass, I like to just be in a key and then pick out all random areas of the key, because they will all give me that mood of Dorian. I know once I'm here, I know how to stay there or how to leave this. See, I left the key because I wanted to go somewhere brighter. I hope that makes some sort of sense to anyone watching right now. I'm sorry if it doesn't, because that's just the vibe for me when I'm having a good time on the bass, you know. And again, when I play with other human beings, this is not allowed most of the time, you know. So that's why you gotta have fun in your safe space in the sacred place. This is my sacred place, you know, where I just try hear whatever. Like, I'm actually not the biggest Alan Holdsworth fan, as in I never listened to Alan Holdsworth, but I know from listening to some of his music and listening to some interviews with him, this was very common with how he wrote music, you know. The melody can lead you to harmony, you know. I'm letting the melody note guide all that note right there could fit into every single one of those chords. I'm really not thinking about a key at all, you know. I don't ever improvise music in this way thinking about a key. I'm always just like that's just like C major. Instead of always just thinking C major, D minor, E minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor. No, this is a chord, 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 this is a... Those are all chords in the key of C. There's no law that says you can only play triads and seventh chords 1, 3, 5, 7. This is not a law. So we can just ignore it and create our own harmony, you know. And in fact, every single, I've got a lot of opinions and thoughts about this, you know. Every single chord in the key in a major key could be a sus2 except for chord 3 and chord 7, because every chord has got a natural 2. Every chord has got a 1, 5 and a natural 2 except chord 3 and chord 7. So look, why is that not the C major scale? It is, you know. Why is everyone practicing this forever, as if it's like this is the law, this is how the C, this is the harmony in the C major scale? Who says so, you know? To me that sounds better. So that could be one way of harmonizing the C major scale. The C major scale, I refuse to believe that it's just this, you know. R&B singers, all of these melodies, like, because they improvise every line. I mean, they add inflections to every line, and it's a voice. I think a voice is so amazing to transcribe on bass, because yeah, it's articulation, it's phrasing. It's not like constrained by notes on a piano or instrument. They can be between notes, bend note, vibrato at the end of a note, slide. Everything incredible about melodies singers do, you know. You know what I mean? That's just right now. Vocal inflections and phrasing, and when you sing you have to breathe, so you have to shut up sometimes and you you have to, once you've run out of breath, if you're trained to sing while you play, then see, now I need to take a breath. So my playing stops and I phrase like a human. And of course that, I think that's like awesome. I would never play a line like that if it wasn't a singer. And then your phrasing starts to sound vocal. Can I explain what triad pairs are? If we had A-7, and let's say this A-7 is the 2 chord of G major, okay? So we got A-7, and it's chord 2 of G major. Okay, well, chord 4 and chord 5 of G major is C major and D major. Okay? So that's your triad, that's one triad pair. So here's A-7, chord 2 of G major. A triad pair in the key of G major that could sound good on A-7 is C major and D major. So there, I played and resolve. So here A minor, and I'm going to play C major and D major. As a pair. So whatever I play on the first triad, I move it to the next triad, and then it kind of really links them even more as a pair, you know. So again, here's A-7 as chord 2 of G major. I know chord 4 and 5 of G major, C major, and D major. So now I'm going to play. C major and D major triads on A-7, and that would be an example of a triad pair, you know. C major and D major. Okay, cool. Up both of them, up the inversions of both of them, down both of them, down both of the inversions of both of them. Up one, down one, up one, down one, up one, down one. And it starts to sound pretty like, it starts to sound pretty out there, but it's actually very, very diatonic, you know. It's about like ascending and descending these two other chords and changing the rhythm. It starts to sound like, whoa, but it is just 1, 3, 5, and then the first inversion is 3, 5, 1, or so, and the next inversion is 5, 1, 3. So that is C major in your different inversions, and then you would take it to D major, and then the pair of them, root position, first inversion, second inversion of both of them, you know, or descend. Exactly, you got it, yeah. Or ascend 1, descend, ascend, descend, ascend, descend. And you know, very quickly it sounds very cool. I think tapping on bass is underrated, but I'm not talking about like Billy Sheehan and metal tapping. I'm not talking about doing this, you know. You know, I'm not talking about that. I just like tapping because if I want to play G-7 and I want to hear how the 11 sounds on top, I can put it there now. Oh, cool, that's how it sounds. Now I get to work on harmony really like a piano player, you know. And I can say, oh, F major 7 with a sharp 11. How does it sound up high when the bass is playing there? That's really how a sharp 11 sounds, and I get to play it on my bass and work on hearing it, you know. And I also like being able to play a chord and a melody at the same time, you know, just like a keyboard player. So yeah, I really love working on tapping because I want to hear bass, chords and melody at the same time. I don't use it in this you know, kind of way. I just use it as a way to like play melodies. Maybe you've already learned Portrait of Tracy, but I think that's kind of like one of the greatest things you could study to get harmonics down over a certain amount of chords, because if you even just learn the main elements of the song, you will learn a lot of nice, you know, that crazy one, this one, and then all of these. You don't have to be able to play, you know, you don't have to do that because you're not going to perform Portrait of Tracy tonight. But just going, oh, just being able to play those chords and understand them, you'll be able to use them then in your own playing, you know. What's the last thing you learned that made you go, wow, that's incredible? This is like we are getting ultra nerd here. Playing from E flat major 7 to D flat major 9, or D flat add 9. So I was playing this. Okay. So I did that. But I left the top note here, and then I played this, and it sounded disgusting, and then I resolved. So and I was like, whoa, that's like D flat major with a flat 9, and it works for longer than I thought it would, you know. It's like the most tense thing of all time. So anyways, when I played that today, I was like, whoa, I could hear a flat 9 on a major 7 chord, and I could hear it being beautiful. Because when you first start playing bass, just when you play like a 5th and it doesn't sound terrible, you're like, yes. But then after a while you're like, oh, I can play like and feel nothing. But then going like that feels more beautiful. You don't have to think about practicing. You can think about spending time with the beautiful, beautiful new sounds, you know? Don't think about, I have to practice my bass. No, just think, wow, wow.